Hello and welcome into the Hogs Happy Hour here on Four Star Sports Media Network. I'm your host Blake, as always, joined by Coach Wilson, and Jason will be joining here shortly. So we took last week off because really was not much to talk about, but I think we have quite a bit to talk about now, Coach Wilson.
Yeah. We have 2 weeks worth of stuff to talk about. So
Yeah. So before we get started, I'm going to play a video we played before on here, just because I like to see people in Kentucky be wrong. So we're going to rewatch this from a couple weeks ago.
Won't get any of none of the recruits will be here. None of the players currently on the team. I think between me and you, there was only like two currently on the team that even had a shot to come back anyway. I think DJ Wagner might have come back, and I think Z might have come back. The rest of them, I think, were gone.
Do you assume that they're all going to follow him to Arkansas also?
No, I think some of them will, but I think some of them might not. I mean, I think, you got to want to live in Arkansas. No,
I want to live in Arkansas. Okay.
I don't understand that. I don't understand that at all.
So I'm gonna start. We're gonna start with the freshmen, and then we'll talk about the freshmen, and then we'll talk about the transfers. So first was Carter Knox. He's a 2024 5-star, 6'6", 225 wing from Overtime Elite in Atlanta. He's ranked number 22 nationally. He was committed to Kentucky. He is the younger brother of former Kentucky player and NBA lottery pick Kevin Knox. So he was a huge get for Coach Cal.
Right, yeah. He was a big get.
Mm-hmm.
And we know not Carter, but Kevin Knox, for a while there, I didn't know if he would survive in the league because he was struggling, but he's managed to stay in. So, yeah, it was a big get for us. Hope he can shoot like his brother for sure.
Yeah, yep. Then next was Boogie Fland. It's an awesome name. He's a 6'2" combo guard from Archbishop High School in New York City. He's ranked 15th nationally, and he also was signed with Kentucky. And the other freshman is Billy Richmond, 6'6" wing from Camden High School in New Jersey. He was ranked number 25 nationally, 5-star. He also was committed to Kentucky. So people that thought that it was the Kentucky brand and not Coach Cal have been proven wrong, because they were committed to Kentucky, but just comes to prove that they were just committed to Coach Cal.
Yeah, yeah, those are kind of some unwarranted statements. It'd be like me saying, well, someone would have to, you just have to want to live in Kentucky.
Yeah.
I mean, if a guy wants to go to Kentucky, I don't care. I mean,
Yeah.
you could say that. You could say that probably if you're upset enough, you could probably say that about anywhere. You just want to live in Nevada. You just want to live in blah, blah, blah. I can say about anywhere.
Yeah. So, just what are your thoughts on those three freshmen? Like, what are your expectations for them? You think they're going to start? I mean, obviously they're probably going to start, but
Well, I know this. I think you need to make sure that you tame your expectations because we fall into this trap all the time as Razorback fans, probably as fans in general, especially those who just love sports. That you don't overhype this Razorback team, despite the ranking of where the class is right now. I think a combined between the freshmen that are signed and the transfers, I think we're sitting at number 3 overall in the composite rankings, and so we got to be real careful not to expect too much this soon from the Hogs.
yeah, we are. I think the freshman class is 6 overall, which is good with just those three 5-stars. But yeah, Jason, he's joining us now. But we were just talking about, we replayed that clip of Matt Jones, not the Arkansas Matt Jones, the Kentucky Sports Radio Matt Jones, about how no one might not follow Cal because you have to want to live in Arkansas. Well, when you're getting paid all this NIL money, it's pretty easy to live in Arkansas. And if you've never been to Fayetteville or the northwest part of the state, you're missing out. I mean, it's a different part than where I'm at in southeast Arkansas for sure.
Well, I mean, I did tell you it sounded like he had a little bit of worry in his voice whenever he said, maybe.
Yeah, he's like, maybe they don't. Who knows? Um, but yeah. Now I will say, I haven't seen many Arkansas fans go after USC. Like we're kind of, must win, and we're kind of cool with it. We're chill with it. But Kentucky fans are, if you're on Twitter, it's brutal. I can't wait for that game at Rupp Arena, this season.
Yeah, I could care less if Arkansas ever plays USC in basketball, and if we do, I really don't care that much if we win or lose, um, because I think most Arkansas fans at this point are past it. But to hear Matt Jones still running off at the mouth about what's going on with Arkansas and recruiting and blah 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 blah. I mean, if we're being honest, Blake, I think Mark Pope's done actually a pretty daggone good job with the transfer class that he's got. I think he got one of the best players in the portal named Kobe. Is it Kobe Bray?
Yeah.
Heck of a shooter.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be ignorant as a Razorback fan if I said, "Dang, we don't want him." Dude, of course we would want him. He could play, and
yeah, he also
and
stole
to say though what he said, like, well, I only want Big Z or DJ Wagner.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody else. Yeah, say that to Mark Pope, who's trying to get Tiero back.
Yeah, and now he a guy we were after. I can't think of his name right now, but I know Wilson will know him. The kid from Oklahoma State.
Yeah, Garrison.
Yeah, I think he ended up going to Kentucky, but so I mean he's what Pope's getting. I mean Kentucky's going to be able to shoot the lights out. I can tell you that, but we're Arkansas. We're getting the 4 and 5 star players. All right, and then we have 2 transfers. One Arkansas fan should be familiar with, and Jonas Adu. He's the All SEC big man, 6'11", can play forward or center. He averaged 11 and 7 last season, and against Arkansas, he had 23 points and 12 rebounds. And I remember on the show, Wilson was talking about how he just dominated us, and now he's a Hog. So it's kind of weird to see that intra-conference transfer, but because Tennessee had a really good year last year, so
Yeah,
it's
that
nice
was
to have him.
interesting to know that he left, but money talks, I guess.
And then the next transfer was a huge one. John L. Smith, not John L. Davis, from FAU. It's kind of a sleeper, I guess you can call it, because no one really knew he was in Fayetteville. He was, I think, the second-ranked player in the portal, depending on what website you look at. He averaged 18.2 points, 6.3 rebounds, and 2.9 assists last year, and he was the American Athletic Conference Co-Player of the Year. So, it's nice to finally get some guards. Last year we got a bunch of guards, but
I think he scored 35 in their elimination game.
yeah, and he was a big part in their Final Four run. Last year. So that's the team Coach Cal's building right now. It's not complete, for sure. We can finally run a 3-man weave at practice, so we can have a few layup lines going now. Now there's some more targets out there. Some Kentucky players might end up transferring to Arkansas, but nothing's been official yet. And then there's one player today from South Florida. Now his first name you can say it probably 3 different ways, but I'm gonna say it's either Kaysen or Kashawn. And if you saw him, you probably think he's a Kaysen Pryor. So he's a athletic wing, I guess, 6'10", I think. So seems like Cal's going after those athletic players that he loves so much. So.
He goes after guys like. Of course, he's going to get I think his typical players that he goes and gets, but he is getting guys very similar to Big Z. If he can get that big kid out of South Florida, he's a sought after prospect. There's been several other names that have come out. I think there was a player out of San Diego State, a 6'7" forward, more of the small forward size. And then just recently, I think today, they contacted a point guard or something out of Utah. So there's obviously several other names that we're trying to get. I guess I'm assuming the freshman that's done with. What the freshman we have is what we have is what we're going to get. And then Tiero again, what we know was in Fayetteville, and I don't know about Wagner. I haven't heard much about him.
No. And we have contacted some 2025 like big name 5-star juniors. So
Right.
I think Cal is done with the freshman class, and he's moving on to the 25 class, and it's going to fill up the rest of the roster with transfers, which is what you kind of have to do right now. I mean, he came in with one player. He came in with 0 scholarship players, but good old Blake Lawson was on the team. So shout out to him.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Tennessee fans were saying that Cal doesn't know how to use the portal. Cal won't use the portal. Well, looks like he's doing a pretty good job with it right now.
Yep.
It's amazing what happens when you get somebody that's going to back you some NIL money.
Yeah, when you got Tyson money, it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Now, a difference for this year, not just a new head coach. We're going to have some proven assistant coaches, unlike last year. So they officially announced Chin Coleman and Chuck Martin as assistants. They're both following him from Kentucky. Coleman served as an assistant at Kentucky since 2021. He spent 5 years at Illinois, and then a couple years at UIC, Bradley, Nebraska, and Colorado State. And then Chuck Martin was at Kentucky for 1 year, but he had previous experience with Cal at Memphis. So those are 2 coaches, and we also got Kenny Payne from a former head coach at Louisville, but he was a big-time assistant coach under Cal. He's very important for some of the guys you see in the NBA right now. Kenny Payne is. So I don't know how many more spots they got to fill assistant coach-wise. If you look on the Arkansas website, it still has Ronnie Brewer listed as an assistant coach. So nothing formally has come out, but if you go to the Razorbacks website, it still has Ronnie Brewer listed as a coach. So I don't know. But,
well, yeah, I think they ended up just changing his job title on there, I think.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's good. It's good to have an Arkansas guy on there who knows basketball. And there's rumors of Joe Johnson joining too in some way, some form or fashion.
Well, I've noticed that, you know, Cal has pretty much invited all former Razorback and Kentucky players at that, you know, use of the practice facility. If you listen to Pat Bev's podcast, he mentioned something that apparently him and Musk just didn't have a good relationship for some reason.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of players out there that apparently didn't have a good relationship with
Yeah.
him. So, but yeah, that's now there's a lot of rumors out there. You know, I expect probably at least 2 more players within the next week to join the basketball team. I know last year at Kentucky, I want to say June 1st, he only had like 6 players on the team. So it's gonna be a slow process. This is not must. Information does not leak out like it used to, and it seems to get released about 5 o'clock, like it's the news or something every day. So Coach Cal, he runs a little bit tighter ship over there than Coach. You know, Coach Muss wanted it out there for the retweets and everything else that came with it. So Coach Cal, it's different. We're just going to have to get used to it. It's a slow process. I'm sure Coach Cal, he's still trying to find a house and everything else, and recruit for next year. So he's working his tail off.
Yeah.
All right, now to Coach Wilson's favorite sport, the sport where NIL has not ruined it, according to
maybe. I don't know.
All right, we are now 39-7, 16-5 in SEC play. We won the series this past weekend against Florida. Just what are your thoughts on that series win?
Um, I thought the bats. Okay, let's start with pitching. I thought pitching was fairly good. I did not realize that Mason Molina was, I guess, hurt,
Yeah, he's
and
got
so
a
when I
ankle.
saw, yeah, I didn't know that, but when I saw Bobby out there in Game 3, I was like, what are we doing? Because Bobby's been a midweek starter, and I was just kind of surprised that we threw him out there. If I would have, in my opinion, I think we should have done pitching by committee. I just feel like we have better arms. I'm not saying that Bobby's not a good ball player, good pitcher, because he is, but I felt like we have better arms that could have gone out there and got an inning or two, then another inning or two. Um, Things just didn't work out for us in Game 3, and of course, Cody Frank got lit up in Game 3
Yeah,
by
yeah,
Caglione.
yeah. We pitched around him in game two, and I think game three. I think we just wanted to go after a star player just to see what would happen, and we saw what happened. So,
And now you know
but
why we pitched around him.
yeah, so I'm gonna play this clip real quick. This is some people are gonna call it the play of the year, or so, at least it was the play of the night. It was number one of Sports Center, but.
Never seen this play ever, and I've watched a lot of baseball, and it's an awesome play. Bases loaded, one out. Florida looking to tie the game up. Sack fly. Runner's going to take off. The center fielder's got to catch the ball, throw it home to get the runner out at home. He comes up throwing to third. Why? The runner went back to tag up. Why? The runner's out at home plate. Why? What happened? What was all of that? He's flexing on him. He knows exactly what happened. He's excited about it. The Florida coach, he's triple taken. What happened? He says, I deked him, and he took off. And that's what happened. So he camps under it and then does this deke where he pulls his hand down, and the runner sees his hand come down and takes off. Then the runner realizes, oh, shit, I got deked, runs back to third. Now, he comes up throwing to third. The runner could just stay at third right now. I don't know why the runner takes off again. He comes up throwing to third to try and get him before he tags back up. Instead, the runner takes off for home. That was kind of a dumb part of the play because it could have not worked, but bam. And he's like, yeah, man, I was nervous. When the bases got loaded and there's one out, I was like, Florida coach on the other end said, please tell me what happened. What was that?
All right, so just what y'all's thoughts on that? That's I mean it's
Oh man, first
great.
off, he's not played much center field. Peyton Holt has played everywhere, and I'm just gonna shout out Crowder College. Crowder
Yeah,
College,
the fighting Rough Riders or something.
Triton Rough Riders, baby. Yeah, dude, he is a utility player in every sense of the word. And his bat, as Dave Van Horn said, he's got to have his bat in the lineup. You got to find a way for him to get in the lineup every day. And that deke was so good. If you watch the video over and over, Jared Sprague Lott had no idea that the runner was catching the ball kind of, just to catch it and turn, give it to the pitcher because he was looking at second base, make sure the guy wasn't tagging. And he had no idea that the guy was that close to him when he caught the ball. You see, I guess it was the first baseman that had come in, and the pitcher who was backing up the throw, they were all screaming, home for, and dang man, it was awesome to watch. And Kevin Sullivan was just an absolute shock. What it out? Heck, I was in shock. I have never seen, to my knowledge, that play work. I've had buddies try it. I had a couple guys I played with it at Crowder try that, and I don't know if it ever worked. I can't remember, but that's the first time I can remember it working. It was awesome.
Yep.
And but to say, in the words of Coach Adcock, it was awesome.
Data baby. But yeah, it was. I was cleaning out my truck. I was listening on radio and cleaning out my truck, and Phil Elson on the radio was like, he he was like, "What are they doing?" He's like, "Have they never run the bases before?" And I don't think Phil really knew what was going on at first until he watched the replay.
Well, I mean, the guy panicked.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do." Now I'm assuming I've never been a baseball coach, but if that happens, you just want him to stay at third, right?
Uh, yeah, probably in that situation. At least you may have screwed up, but I would rather you stay there than to run us out of the inning. Give us another at bat. I may be ticked off, but I don't want to give up a double play in that situation.
Yeah, yeah. So baseball season, the good part of baseball season is about to be upon us. Okay, we got a great series this weekend against Kentucky. It's at Kentucky. Starts at 5:30 on Friday on SEC. All the games this weekend are on SEC Network Plus. I wish they had them on the network itself, with it being a big matchup. But you can still watch it. You can still stream it. But Kentucky's kind of slipping a little bit. They kind of had I don't want to say easy schedule to begin conference play, but I think they're getting into their tough part of their conference schedule. So will be a good road test. And then after this series, we have 2 left: Mississippi State at home, and then we go to Texas A&M on the road to finish out the conference season.
Yeah,
So it should be
interesting.
some good baseball. And also, we went undefeated this year in the midweek games, so we did not get upset by anybody in the midweek. I think all the midweek games were good. We got some work for some of the young guys. So our bats seem to do better in the midweek game. And if you ever want Arkansas baseball to hit, just make sure Ashton Wilson puts a Facebook post out. And as soon as that happens, Dave Van Horn gets a notification, and they start hitting the ball.
You know what? I told Coach Cook, I'll do it every time if we can just hit the baseball.
But in all seriousness, I think I have a fear that us not hitting the ball is going to show up in Omaha or in the Supers or in the it's going to show up somewhere.
It's going to hurt us eventually. I still don't even think we're hitting the ball all that great, but that's just that's my opinion.
I mean, I
But
think everyone would agree.
That's the thing though with Arkansas. You either have really great pitching and mediocre hitting, or you have great hitting, but you don't have a good pitching staff. There's never been a season where we can just combine the two.
No,
Right.
And Diggs he's hurt, I guess, or he's in a slump.
So he is in a massive slump. I think he's down. I think his batting average is now down to 240.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you what type of slump that Kendall Diggs is in. And I can't help but think he'll come out of it. But over the weekend, according to StatCast, he hit a ball 107 miles per hour off the bat. It was a line drive out.
Yeah.
Can't catch a break. And then another thing that was encouraging is we had 5 dudes on our roster pitching wise that threw a ball over the weekend 97 miles per hour or harder.
Yeah.
And 2 guys who hit 100.
Yeah, I think the combination of Hagen Smith and McIntyre is it's a pretty good combo to have.
I tell you, Christian Fouch is a weapon.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He threw. I think he at one point threw 101 miles per hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's moving.
Yeah. Speaking of pitching, I just hope we find a third starter. I mean, I don't know, because his stuff's not really been good so far this year. Molina, he's hurt, but Dave said it's more of a precautionary right now. They said, if it was in the regionals or super regionals, he would probably be pitching, but there's no need to get his ankle hurt, at the first week of May. So we'll see. We'll see what happens this weekend against Kentucky. Maybe Coach Cal will show up or something. for his old stomping grounds. And we're gonna go to football. A lot has happened, and quietly has happened in football. I think
Yeah.
the basketball news has kind of shadowed it, but Dominique Johnson, Snacks Johnson, and R.J. Johnson have all entered the transfer portal. It's a bad week to be a Johnson in Arkansas. The so Dominique, I don't think that's going to hurt us. I hate losing Snacks Johnson. I mean, I know he probably lost his starting spot, but then R.J. Johnson, he was just a guy looking for playing time. So I don't think the only one that's going to hurt us is Snacks, but. And then Jacoby Criswell, he also went back to UNC. And I think Snacks went back to Baylor. Is that where he's from?
I don't
quite
know
remember.
where he's from.
Okay. Something about they both went back to their original school.
I know somebody went to TCU.
Yeah, what was that? Who was that?
Um,
That was Augusta, wasn't it?
No, there's another one here
No?
recently that went
Okay.
to TCU. I wonder how many of our transfers actually end up going back to, or going to TCU to follow Kendall Briles.
Well,
A good question. I don't have it.
their offense is better than ours last year, so
Yeah.
of course anybody's was. And so Jacoby, he went back. We also picked up a few transfers. Picked up an offensive lineman from Syracuse, Joe Moore. He's 6'5", 306. He's been injured. He's kind of injury prone. Started his career at Richmond. I think he's a good serviceable backup. I don't think he's gonna try to get a starting spot. We also picked up a linebacker from Marshall and Steven Dix Jr. So we traded Johnsons for Dix. And then Rodney Hill from Florida State, running back. And we got a transfer from Dion's old stomping grounds, Jacksonville State, another linebacker, Larry Worth. And we got a hometown kid back in Arkansas. He was at Utah State, defensive back Anthony Switzerland, or not Switzerland.
Switzerland.
Yeah,
And
Switzerland.
first off, you got to warn a brother when you're going to make a joke, okay? Okay, because he completely
What?
caught me off guard, all right?
It's not a joke. It's a fact. We did. I mean, get your head out the gutter.
Oh, gosh.
Anyways, and then we got our next starting quarterback from Coastal Carolina in Boda. So, and then according to the scholarship count, we have 6 more scholarships to hand out. So expect some more transfers in. I'm hoping that the portal window has closed, so you shouldn't see any more transfers out. So just transfers in.
Okay.
So all of our key receivers that we wanted to keep are, I think, like the Petrino offense, and the running backs must hate it because they're all leaving.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think that kid from your backyard is he might win freshman of the year. I don't know.
Yeah, man, he's
I
a
mean,
good looking back, isn't he?
yeah.
Hey,
He's
I just
just big.
be a quarterback at Benton. Is hike, turn around, and give the ball.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
again, not much going on in football except transfers. Coaches are out recruiting. They're summertime's about to crank up, so they'll bring in some visitors, some camps and things, as Coach Pittman says, things of that nature.
Things of that nature. Oh man, I miss football.
So, all right, the draft was last week, and Cam Little was the first Razorback taken, 6th round by my Jacksonville Jaguars. So, we did need a kicker. Okay, so we probably got one of the best ones in the draft. The Jaguars went almost all SEC with their draft picks, so maybe we win a Super Bowl in 10 years or so. I don't know. The only Jaguars fan in Arkansas. And then Bo Limmer got drafted in the 6th round by the LA Rams. And these guys were picked up undrafted free agents: Dwight McLaughlin, or Nudie, was signed by the Vikings. John Morgan III signed by the Patriots. Antonio Greer was signed by the Bucks. Jeff Coat was signed by the Saints. And Brady Late. Hold on. What was that? Oh, false start. Okay. Brady Latham signed with the Jets.
That man hurt us so much last season.
I have a feeling. I have a feeling that the Jets offense is it Jets that drafted him.
Yeah. Well, they signed.
They're
him.
gonna.
He's
They
the
will.
Jets.
They will be moving the ball 5 yards at a time without a doubt.
Just the opposite.
Just not the right direction.
But I mean, it's good. I was surprised that Nudie did not get drafted because according to Pro Football Focus and all their rankings, he was one of the top defensive backs in the SEC. So I mean, I don't think he had any off the field issues or anything like that. But I just thought that was kind of odd. But he signed with the Vikings, so he will get a shot and a chance with them. So now there's a little pipeline from Arkansas to the Jaguars because they got Buster Brown last year or a couple years ago.
All right.
And they got a kid that we know from CrossFit and Greg Jr. Gregory Jr. So it's nice to see, your favorite team get some guys from Arkansas. But well, it's a lot of information in 35 minutes. I'll tell you that.
Well,
I
it's
hope the
just,
people are soaking it up at home, man.
Yeah.
it's just that time of year, man.
Yeah. Now, when SEC baseball's at the end of the month, so the baseball tournament is at the end of the month, so we should know. I think super regional or regional will be announced on Memorial Day. So Arkansas should host both the regional and super regional if they happen to make it to the super.
I think even things are just really going well. Like even softball, I think took 2 out of 3 at LSU, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Was it at LSU?
They're ranked. They were ranked in the top 12. I guess it depends which ranking you look at. But
I saw
doing
the
well.
LSU I had was number 7 when they beat them,
Mhm.
and then I guess Arkansas probably got moved up in the top. They were 14, and probably got bumped up. I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. So luckily, I think they're on different weekends, so it won't be as congested in Fayetteville. But it'll be a fun time. Back-to-back weekends. One weekend softball, next weekend baseball. So Coach Deifel, she does a real good job with those girls at the softball team. And speaking of softball, shout out to the Monticello Lady Billies. They got the 10-run rule win today. And they also broke the state record in Arkansas for home runs hit in a season with 49.
Dang. Dude, they had some tanks.
Yeah, and they hit
They
hit
couldn't
2
get to
today.
50.
Well, today they got the 51.
Okay.
So
Okay.
they're just add on to the record. And I'm sure Coach Wilson wants to shout out.
I do want to shout out somebody.
Yeah,
I want to shout out the CrossFit Eagles baseball program for their win over Arkadelphia today. And so that's going to give them an automatic berth, I believe, into the state tournament. But they'll move on to play in the semifinals tomorrow, I think at noon. And I don't know if they know who they're playing yet. But super pumped for them. It's been several years since they were in the state tournament, but it couldn't have happened to a better group of kids. That senior group down there, bunch of great kids. So shout out to them, Coach Walcott, Coach Kidd. Good luck to y'all tomorrow.
Yeah, speaking of kids on that team, there's a kid that's going to Vanderbilt, I think, right? For school. Like there's some smart ones with
Super smart ones.
Burford. Yeah.
Burford.
There's some smart kids on that team. So see, that group was special because they were smart and they were also super athletic. Like you didn't have to worry about them.
Right. Great kids.
Yep. All right. Anything else before we get off here?
Can't
let me
think of
think.
anything.
Well,
No,
yeah, I could have a podcast on this next topic. That's why I didn't want to bring it up. But I think the Deion Sanders experiment might be imploding.
short-lived.
Yeah.
Yeah, might be a short-lived one. He, I don't know if he is not everybody's cup of tea,
No.
and I'm going to admit that I thought that he would be a good fit at Arkansas,
Yeah.
but now that I
Yeah.
don't feel that
So-
way anymore.
Yeah. It's all about his kid, and that I don't know that player's name that transferred out, but saying he didn't feel like he was getting coached, wasn't getting the love, and his son Shadur said that like, I don't even know who you are, like how do you not know someone on your on your team? And then
Are you surprised?
he got on Twitter and called him mid, and then Coach Dion, he got on there and was clapping back at him. It was not a good look, I would say.
Something tells me that coach don't care.
I mean, here's the thing: when you go 4-8, you have no room to talk. I don't care your last name's Sanders. Okay, you went 4-8 in a bad
Right.
conference.
Right.
In a bad
I couldn't help but agree with you, Blake.
Yep,
Couldn't help but
yep.
agree.
But all right, we might do this show every 2 weeks now in the summertime. Which after baseball season, we probably won't do it until right before practice opens up. But right, the way Coach Cal moves, it's not very fast, so not a lot of information is going to be put out there. And baseball, softball, they're all out there doing their thing. So 2 weeks we'll have plenty to talk about. So
Right.
But anyways, if you're going to any ball game, any sporting event, any concert, please use SeatGeek and use promo code 4-Star Sports Media to receive $20 off your order.
And then invite me to go with you. Just a suggestion.
Yeah.
I'm not much to look at, but I do enjoy sports.
Yes, we all do enjoy sports. So
Blake, would you like to hear my Caldwell Corny of the Week where I teach?
Yeah. Sure.
This is for all the viewers as well who will enjoy hearing this joke. So I specialize in dad jokes, as you well know. And the corny of the week was, how many bones are in the human hand, Blake?
How many bones? 24.
No, Blake, a handful.
Oh, ha ha.
Oh,
Knee slapper right there.
oh. All right. There you go.
Was that on the Atlas test that they took?
I think it was on. Actually, that one was on the benchmark several years back.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
No, man. I hope that Arkansas can continue to be successful baseball wise, because I really want them to host. And unless something crazy happens, they should be a host.
Yeah.
And some seed.
It's fun. It's, as Jason knows, it's fun to go watch them at the regional, or even super regional.
I mean, if you want to go for a party, you go out to the Hog Pen.
Yeah, there was one that one year. Who were we playing? I think it was Missouri State, baby. And I had a PD, and it got rained out. Like it was a big rain delay, and Jason and our buddy Jeffrey were in Fayetteville, and they're like, "Hey, you got enough time to drive up and make the game?" I was like, "You know what? I do." So I got there about the seventh, the 6th or 7th inning, paid $25 to watch 2 innings of baseball. And I texted him, I was like, all right, I'm about to drive by, because if you've ever been to the stadium, there, that road that's behind the Hog Pen. I said, I'm about to drive by and honk. And they go, no, you're not. I said, yeah, I'm legit here. Like, so.
I know somebody wasn't too happy about that.
Yeah, it'd be all right.
It's a fun night, though. It was a fun night.
Well,
yeah, something always happens with the regional.
Boys, it's been real.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Yeah.
But it ain't been real fun. So I'm gonna get off of here.
Yeah, as a teacher, you got 3 more weeks of school.
3 more. Y'all pray
Do
for
it.
us. Me and Blake. 3 more weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Jason, keep us in your prayers.
All right. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us. Like, subscribe, do all that, and use that promo code to get you $20 off. So until next time, see you later.
Adios.